This is Steve Lane reporting for the Freedom Report, and we are approximately 1 mile west of Bee Caves, about 1 mile west of 620, just off of Highway 71. And we're going to start bringing you an exclusive investigative report about the amount of water that's being wasted in this area. Now, my producer and I, Mike Hansen, we just clocked off this very simple, crude but effective sprinkler system that's lining both sides of Highway 71. We clocked off over 2 miles of sprinkler system and 4 miles that is watered via a tank truck, which we're going to get some footage for you a little bit later. But you'll notice this ties right into the water system here, right off fire hydrants that are used to put out fires and things of that nature. And I believe this is being put on by Travis County, and we're going to find that out for you. It's definitely not the city of Austin. It could be Bee Caves, but I doubt it. I believe this is utility construction that happened for the county. This watering's been going on for weeks now, and I can tell you for a fact, even though it's not being turned on at this second, we stopped here where there wasn't some sprinklers going so we could get some footage and show you the kind of water that's being wasted. These sprinklers basically run at all hours of the day and night. I've come through here after doing a show late, 11, 12 o'clock at night, and they're watering. And I've been out here during the day, and we're going to get you some of that footage here in a little bit, to where they're watering in the middle of the day, and it's just always watering. And you can see what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm standing here in mud in this huge puddle. Granted, we've taken one area and picked it out of many areas, but if you walk through here, it's muddy because of the amount of watering that they're doing day in, day out. But these same petty, smiley-faced bureaucrats will tell you you have to ration your water and you have to limit your water usage. And right now it's voluntary, but we might make it mandatory and restrict the amount of water that you use. But these same smiley-faced bureaucrats will turn around and they will water all hours of the day and night, break all their own rules, all their own recommendations. And I want to point out just the hypocrisy that's involved here. And when you look at what they're trying to water, basically, we live in Texas. It is muddy up here, but you'll find this is predominantly rocks. They're watering rocks and trying to get grass to grow where grass will not. And all for what? I mean, the side of the road. This is something I don't understand, and we're going to try and ask questions about this and find out for you why it is the county finds it necessary to water rocks at all hours of the day and night. This is an electronic timer that's tied into the watering system here. And if you'll look at the top, this liquid crystal display, you'll notice the duration that they water, just like I said, every single day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You'll notice all the arrows are marked.
They want us to
currently right now, that's right. They want you to water every other day. You, the petty little citizen, the little slave, the little nobody, you can only water every other day. And right now, of course, that's voluntary, but we might have to make it mandatory if you don't all comply. But the smiley-faced bureaucrat, they get to water their rocks every day. You can't water your yard or your garden that you use to feed your children or yourself because of all the chemicals that are sprayed on your supermarket vegetables. But they can water rocks every single day. And this is just another example of the hypocrisy of bureaucracy. You'll also notice on this same unit, I just showed you this unit here, this timer unit. It says here, don't operate this valve. The reason why it's set at 50 gallons per minute. I don't know if you can read that, if you can make that out because of the bright sunlight here. It says if it moves, if you move it, it could damage the water meter. So right now the flow rate on this is 50 gallons a minute, according to Russell, I can't read that last name, but it's signed and dated August 4th, 1998. This valve here, this ball valve, was set at 50 gallons a minute. This is a meter showing how many gallons have flowed through here.
That's a whole bunch of them.
And assuming, yes, and we'll show you some other fire hydrants. We're going to do some other filming. This is just one fire hydrant of many. But out of this one fire hydrant alone, assuming this hasn't rolled over, since August 4th, they have pumped in 58,040 gallons. Actually, that's tenths, 5,804 gallons. I'm sorry, I was reading the tenths meter. 5,804 gallons has been pumped through here since August 4th at a rate of 50 gallons per minute. I don't know what that works out to, but that's a lot of water, folks. That's a lot of water. We'll inspect some of these other fire hydrants as well and maybe get a total of the amount of gallons of water that have been, in my mind, wasted watering rocks at the side of the road while you're being asked to restrict your water usage. All right, Steve Lane again with the Freedom Report. We're about 1 mile west of Ranch Road 620, just off Highway 71. And here you can see the facts, folks. Literally dozens and dozens of sprinkler heads, just as far as the eye can see, heading both directions. The camera will probably swing around here in a minute and show you the other direction. And make a mental note of what it is here that the county is watering. If you look here closely, it's rocks, folks. It's not even dirt. It is a rock. We're wasting thousands and thousands of gallons of water watering rocks. They water every day. The timers are set for 4 hours. We're going to show you some footage of the meter here in a moment, where they're pumping just out of 2 fire hydrants alone, and I'm going to do some calculations and add up the rest. They're pumping, since August 4th, 150,000 gallons out of 2 fire hydrants alone. These are pumping at a rate of 50 gallons per minute. And each of them does that for over 4 hours, and they're timed to water every single day. So your smiley-faced bureaucrat that wants control of your water and your property will tell you that we're running out of water and you need to water every other day, and if you don't volunteer to do it, we're going to make you do it. But they'll turn around and they'll waste at least, so far, I haven't checked the other hydrants yet, but at least 150,000 gallons since August 4th. Today is August 12th. Here's the kind of waste we're talking about. While you have to sit at home and have your water doled out to you by some smiley-faced bureaucrat, that same bureaucrat gets to turn around and just dump probably at least a couple hundred gallons right here. I used to refuel airplanes and we had to learn to recognize fuel spills. That's probably about 100, maybe 120 gallons there, because you have to figure a lot of it's soaked into the ground. And it's just being wasted, absolutely wasted. And if you'll look here closely, lest you doubt what I said about the flow rates, if Mike can get a good close-up of this, every time this clicks by, there you go, that's 10 gallons. If you'll notice here, 72,410 gallons since August the 4th. And here it gets ready to go, yet another 10 gallons right there. And the flow rate is set right here on this card and signed by Russell, looks like Russell Allen, on August 4th, 1998. It says, leave the valve alone. It's set at 50 gallons a minute. And you'll also notice here the electronic timer, it's set to water every single day, Monday through Sunday, every single day. Water, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. Unless you're a socialist bureaucrat, and then you can waste all the water you want to. Now you may be sitting here wondering and watching and saying, Steve, what's the big deal? So they're wasting a little water. This isn't about water. What this is about is command and control. These petty bureaucrats will use something like water to pass restrictions on you to get more control of your life, to get more control over your property. And water is ultimately your property. You buy it, you pay for it. It's your property once it gets to your house. And they want to restrict that, and they want to have more control over you, and they use an artificial environmental cause because they know the environmentalists are active politically and will go out and vote, and they use those environmentalists, so-called environmentalists, to pass their socialist agendas. The simple fact is, I'm a real environmentalist. I don't want to see water wasted in rocky soil at the side of the road that serves absolutely no purpose whatsoever. I want to see water watering people's lawns and gardens and flowers in their house. That actually does something. It increases the value of your home. What value is this to anyone other than a socialist who wants to get more control of your property, more control of your water, more control over your life? That's what wasting water is all about. Last year, you saw it. It was all over the newspapers. LCRA bought a 100-year water supply. This year, they talk about there's no water. I got news for you, folks. 7/10 of the Earth's surface is water. We're not running out of water. We got glaciers. There's all kinds of ways we can get fresh water. I heard a friend of mine say today we pump oil from Texas all the way up to the Northeast. We could easily pump fresh water out of the Great Lakes all the way down here. There is no shortage of water. They're using that idea to plant in your head to get socialism, their socialist agendas passed, and to keep water rates high, to keep these bureaucrats paid a lot of money so they can have their soft, cushy jobs and maintain control of your life. I'll tell you what, if you got the time, let's check every single fire hydrant and I'll get the gallons off each one and we'll add them all up.
I'll just get a couple of them.
Well, I kind of like to get them all to know the exact figure.
I'll drive it.
We have here one of the water trucks that's used. We explained to you earlier there's roughly 2.5, almost 3 miles of sprinkler systems set up along Highway 71, right around Ranch Road 620, both east and west of there. There's another at least 4 miles on Highway 71 that's watered by this very tank truck right here, along with another. I used to refuel airplanes, if I remember from my refueling days. This is about a 600-gallon truck right here. And they'll get out there with the hose and they fill up on the hydrants and they spray alongside the road. This is Bee Caves Road behind me. You can't see it, it's dark now. 2244, and we haven't clocked how many miles are through here, but I guesstimated yesterday, ticking it off, it's around 4 or 5 miles worth of watering that they're doing with this tank truck. So we're looking at roughly 8 to 10 miles of watering with a tank truck and 2.5 to 3 miles of watering with the sprinkler system. Now, Mike and I just got done going checking every fire hydrant over there. One of the hydrants peaked, and they've pumped 211,580 gallons out of one of the hydrants alone. There's a total of 5 hydrants over there, each averaging right around 78,000 gallons of each in the past 8 days, roughly 10,000 gallons per day for each hydrant, for a grand total of 438,500 gallons of water. Now I'm going to get in touch with the water company or LCRA and find out how much the average family of 4, how much water they take in during a year. I think you're going to be shocked about the amount of water that is being wasted.